So if you're like me and enjoy staying active, then you've probably found yourself wanting to participate in some type of athletics. The issue is, I can't find enough people to play with and I don't know where to go. I miss the days when I could just walk out of my front door, out of my dorm room, and there was a host of people at my disposal I could go to a gym to and play a pickup game with. According to your census data, there are over 100 million people in the United States that play recreational athletics. And according to the ones I have personally interviewed, 70% of them would use a service like mine to find people to play with right now. My name is Travis Piku, and I'm a co-founder of Coach Cheetah, the virtual bench of real athletes that connects them to places to play their sport of choice. For a small fee, we give you access to gyms and fields where people are joining to play and find teams that are in need of substitutes. What if you have a group of people to play soccer, but your backyard is not big enough even for your chihuahua? Log into Coach Cheetah and find a lit field or a clean gym to book your own private event. Just collect payment from your attendees with the Kickstarter-like payment processing system that will initiate activity once you've reached your desired number of participants. So next time you're looking to stay active with friends or meet new people, all you have to say is, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play." Can I go first?
Sure. Okay. Dig that you're interviewing customers. That's awesome. We already talked about that. Now, same thing about pricing. And just like like a friend who was selling ice cream at the conference, right? When you ask someone, would you blah 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 blah, right? We're basically we're getting a yes, right? You know, so 70%. There's no reason for them to not say no. So if we're really doing customer interviews, like with the mindset of like prove to me that there's a problem, like customer prove to me there's a problem, you want to be asking what's the hardest part about exercise? What's the hardest part about playing rec sports? What's the hardest part? And then hear their problems. So when you say I interviewed people and I heard X number of people said that this is their problem, then that's what I want to hear. So I want to hear problems, not so many people said they would use the product. As far as solutions goes, when you mention a Kickstarter like something or other, I don't know if that's going to meet their need because I don't know their problem. I don't understand, like, is a Kickstarter like something, or are they going to tip over and meet their problem? Maybe the problem is they want something now, and if they have to wait for other people to join, I don't know. So connect it back to problems for me. And then again, this feels like something we can test in a weekend. Like, it feels like something we could put together. I don't know what it would look like because I don't quite understand the product yet, but go out to a game, go out to a field, and get people to sign up for the service. Let's really see if we're solving a real problem.
It's interesting. I'm kind of curious when you guys are going to converge your pitches, right? Because yours takes the trajectory. It's kind of soft and fuzzy, and my coaches were awesome, and yours is like I relate to yours because it's closer to the target customer, I think. So I think I would. So one of the things I want to see both of you guys do is sync that up, decide which one works better. My vote is this one works better than the, I have an 11-year-old, I'm getting ready to umpire, right? We talked about my control issues before. You make a comment in the early sentences, a service like ours, but I don't know what your service is. So I want you to invert those and lead with, we were out at the fields on Capitol Hill this weekend and we interviewed 72 people and they have the same problem I have. I used to be an athlete in college, I like playing sports. It's hard to be a member of a sports team because it's hard to get friends together and start, just tick off the top 2 or 3 things that everybody told you that will get people to nod their head and then quit talking about it, right? Quit going, because you're going down in a feature set that I'm not sure is the most compelling feature set. And what I'd love to know is when you do the 72 interviews, they're like, boy, I tell you what, 80% of the people talked about these 3 things first, and then talk about 80% of the people talked about these 3 things first, and then you've got that, yeah, okay, we got it, right? So I want to connect the interviews to your story rather than lead with your story, because I think in your case it's one of those that it gets credible faster, right? And then I want to start to hear what's going to be unique, right? So you've given a couple analogies. It's kind of like this for that. It's kind of like this for that. It could be this, or move past that into these are based on what we've talked about. Here's the features we're going to launch. We're launching it this way. Anytime you can move past our concept into our product. I want to see you push there faster, right? Because it moves you out of concept into yeah, we talk to people, right? I want to see you just move that way faster. Right?
Not too much to add. Pretty much my feedback for everybody is going to be try to memorize what you're saying. You clearly have a passion for it, and I like the way that you start to articulate the problem. I think you do need to get to back up sooner so people know it's a real problem, understand it, and then you can talk more about your solution and your service. But the fact that you have to look at your laptop, like I feel like I should be looking at your laptop too, and I think it does you a pretty huge disservice. The other thing for me is as you talk through it, I get why it's a problem and I get that you have a solution, and why am I going to pay for it? And so as an investor, I want to know why are people going to pay for it and how is that going to scale? And you kind of touch on two different things, why I might pay for it and then how I might get my friends to pay for it, which kind of confused me because I wasn't totally sure how you got there. So I think if you tighten up that beginning and get to the, here's the problem that we're solving, and here's how we're going to solve it, and here's how we're going to make some money. I love the way you leave it. You can get to the point where you say, Coach, put me in. I think that that's a great way to kind of summarize things and make me feel like, oh, okay, yeah, Coach, put me in. But the rest of it, I think there's some things that you can do to work it up and get it to be a lot more targeted, especially if you're looking me in the eye and telling me the story.
And quick comment for everybody in this whole process as well is if you're not sure which revenue model you're going to pick one and sell it. Right? If you look at between now and cut night, when you come and pitch us, what you should be able to say is, no, this is why we're leading with that when we did the interviews and this is what they said, and be like, okay. But don't waffle on it, because you're like, well, the gyms could pay for it, and then your friends could pay for it, and you're not necessarily doing that, but I'm just saying for everybody's benefit, pick one and sell us on why that's the one with the data, right? So good job.
Yeah,